Hi, it's Lumen, the nomadic traveling art model. Why not join Bali? As soon as Alice told me about this, I was like 1000% full out with feeling I will be there. When Alice told me about Bali, I immediately wanted to go because Tulum was exceptional. I had one of the best times ever at an international event or an event in general, so I knew Bali would be like even better, 10 times better, 100 times better. And so therefore, I decided I wanted to come. My expectation was to just create with people in a new place and have a new experience and be re-inspired by the surroundings of a new country with people I already know and trust to take me there. So coming to Bali was really great because I was able to reunite with some models that I've traveled with in other events, which was wonderful. And then being able to bring new model friends to this environment, and they had so much to take out of it. They were looking forward to it, they were excited about it, everything they heard about Tulum, getting to see their friends again too is really cool to bring everybody together. And it is really comforting. And Mackenzie and I have traveled, I think we counted 8 countries together. So this was a huge thing for us. And it's really great traveling with Mackenzie because we're just so used to how we move and flow, and being able to experience Bali together. And neither of us have been in Asia before. So that was a really exciting thing. So they're wonderful. Well, creatively, I really wanted to create in the environment, the outdoors. What I didn't expect is how much it reminded me of my home country, Belize, and that was a really beautiful, nostalgic thing for me. So it took me back into a place personally where I felt really healed in ways I didn't even know I was, because I was able to embrace it and see it in a refreshed way. A different appreciation, creating the waterfalls, the rice fields, and the journey to those things I really loved. Personally, as Lumen, the artist, all of my art has really come from a personal place. So those two things basically go hand in hand, and my art's reflective of the life that I'm living. Yeah, my expectations have beyond honestly, what I expected. Very unique to Tulum, very unique to, I've been to DR, I've been to Europe, very unique. I think it's one of a kind that you won't find certain elements in different places. So I think Bali is a bit more challenging as far as the treks into the locations, which are well worth it, but it's definitely a bit more challenging. The temperature, the humidity, and I think the time difference also, like adapting to all of that. But on the positive side, Bali, very safe. You never once feel like you could walk around alone and feel great about it. You never feel like you can't be, even though it's nice to have your friends no matter what. In Tulum, there was a little bit, well, Mexico itself, but there was a little like, maybe we should always be together type of energy. But that it was super safe too. Like, they always made sure we were safe. I think we had to travel a little farther to our Bali locations, which was fine. And then in Tulum, if I remember correctly, they were a little closer, but we spent a lot more time in each area, I think. And we did more locations in Bali. But I really enjoyed the time in the van getting to know everybody. We made it a blast. And I feel like by the time we got to the location, we had all bonded and were like ready to like create, you know? I would describe Bali very vibrant in some ways. I think, again, I'm all about the outdoor locations and just the colors, the energy of like the water, just all of it. It was so peaceful. My favorite location, waterfall, the first waterfall by far. I don't know if it's because it was the first location, but I'd never wanted to leave. I perched myself on one of the waterfalls and hoped to stay there forever and kept making people come over to shoot it. But I think like the nature here and the people, the humility, like the beautiful humility that people have of living a simple life. And you can tell they're so grateful to have people come into their country to learn about it. I think that's really special, actually. First off, I loved the waterfall, the first waterfall we went to. I think my favorite day was waterfall day, actually. Just going back and forth to the two different locations was really fantastic. This nostalgia of just the third world country energy and the rainforest and the jungle, all of that resonated with me personally. My second favorite location, since I already hinted at the other one, is the rice fields. It was beautiful, it was very unique, it was very different. And yeah, it was challenging because you had to kind of go in and out of the rows, work around people. Everybody was really good about working around each other. And it was a little bit of a walk, which I liked. I like walking. But yeah, and finding the right colors to pop in the fields, I think was really important. But my favorite part of it was getting rained on, actually. And I even posted it in my story, like this will be the highlight of my Bali trip, because walking back through it, once again, this place brought me back to many nostalgic parts of my own life and those heavy rains. And there's something about reconnecting to your inner child, you know, that magic, and it reconnects you to your art and your purpose and your why, and makes you have a stronger perspective on the goodness in your life, you know? So I would say that is one of my favorite moments, location-wise, and like just euphoria, I suppose, of being rained on, you know? My other favorite location was the last beach we went to, which I don't know the name, but it had the monkeys. And my favorite part was the monkeys that kept trying to steal everything. They just added an extra excitement to the adventure. It's like, oh, okay, we're at a beach, it's awesome. But wait, we're being attacked by monkeys also. So, you know, can't get that everywhere. And by the way, no one was harmed, and I'm pretty sure no monkeys were harmed. I think one got smacked on the paw, but that's fine. It deserved it, so. Creatively, just being where I'm like climbing up into things and trying to be a part of it. It's also challenged me in the sense that I'm primarily a nude artist, but we did barely anything nude. So it actually challenged me to think about what to wear in the environment, which I don't think is something most people say, but I wanted to still have the appearance of nature and natural and blending in. So I put a lot of thought process into that. So that was actually a challenge for me. And yeah, just like trying to get to the most interesting structure. And sometimes that was a little risky and challenging. And working with the right people in those certain areas too, that I was like, ooh, you would capture this perfectly, you know? Or climbing all over the rocks like a little Tarzan girl. That was fantastic and challenging as well. Absolutely. I think every single one that was here had something to offer, and they all have their own style. And I enjoyed how they would talk with each other about that, actually, in a really collaborative sense. Like they were learning from each other, and then they would kind of almost play with it while they were shooting on locations with people. I did pick that up. So every photographer who came had their own style. They're very open to trying new things from the models as well. They had their ideas, but they really wanted the models to kind of lead as well, since the environments were tricky. So I'm walking away from this having a really great collection of different styles and challenges that I think, accomplished. When I see the pictures, I feel that will be true. Some of the models that came to this were a little newer. Some I didn't know and some I did know previously. And one, I helped even get connected to this. And I was so proud to see her rise to the opportunities and just really like overcome challenges to get here. And that was like, it's so great to see when you're right about somebody and they like show it. It's so beautiful. I love helping people. I used to teach for most of my life, teenagers and things. So it was also Bali, nostalgic. That's the theme for me. It was very nostalgic with the younger ones on the trip because it reminded me of the days where I was a teacher, because they leaned on me for that comfort and support. And they would ask me questions about, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it was fun. Yeah, it was really enjoyable to pass along information, anything I can do to help other models on their journey. Newer models that have been doing this a while but haven't traveled a lot yet. Anything I can do to help, I've really enjoyed it. If I had to pick words to describe Bali, for me personally, Bali would be immersive and it would be nostalgic. And obviously it's inspiring, but those two words are very personal to me. Immersive because I thought like, oh, in between stuff, I'm going to be answering this email and doing that. But it's like, it pulls you in so much to people around you during the downtime, to like getting to be inspired and refreshed by conversation, to eating dinner together. You put so much energy in that, you just need to sleep. So it's immersive, and I didn't want to know the world outside of what was happening here, to be very honest. Nostalgic because it brought me back to the child inside of me, which was very important, because when I feel like as a human being in life, you kind of start to lose your way, the best way to find it again is to reconnect to your inner child. So those are my Bali words. So this is my first time to Bali and anywhere in Asia. Yeah, of course, my journeys leading up to this have caused me to be able to morph and transform into the different environments. I really think, though, it all goes back to just me being the little jungle child that grew up, that I could immediately just like see and adapt to certain things that were happening around me. Being able to like pose in waterfalls and trees and in the sand and in the dirt and roll around and not care about being dirty or what bugs or spiders were around. Like I didn't care because I was already so used to it. Yes, so I'll start with the boundaries thing, because that's actually super like in the present moment of what I've been working on. And something from past, that I'm learning from past modeling, past personal life stuff, is that I need to be better with my boundaries, because I am a lover of people, and those are far and few between. I love people, and I therefore have a lack of boundaries, even in my shooting sometimes, or in my relationships within this industry. I learned to really work on protecting myself. That was the mindset, like protecting in a healthy way, so that everybody stays healthy in our relationships with me and in my creative experience and fulfilled. And as I came into this, I wanted to exercise that. And I knew it was in the right environment, people, creatives, and the leadership here, and the Bali energy to do that. And not only did that be that I was healthily, like I would say something to somebody and I'm like, I would prefer if we did the nudes in this section versus this section, because I feel artistically that's what appeals to me, instead of just going along with whatever. And it was received very well. And somebody who observed that conversation, who's gone to other events with me, a photographer, was like, Lumen, I'm very proud of you. And I was like, really? And they're like, wow, I'm literally seeing you like stand up and be firm on your boundaries and just not go with the flow of things, but you're respectful, you're kind about it. And I'm really glad to see you evolving in that way. And I was like, wow. So the fact that you brought that up in this conversation, I was like, yeah, actually, this has been the perfect environment, because it's the reinforcement of it, positive reinforcement, has helped my confidence in it too. So absolutely, and I've recommended quite a few and it's worked out very well, and I've seen them walk away from their experiences with Muses in general very happy, very fulfilled, and excited for more. So 1000% full out with feelings. I would say come with an open mind. Be willing to go with the flow, because that is truly the creative process in life in general, and being in a group environment. Best laid plans have to switch up because of environment or whatever. I would say pack enough clothes because check the environment, it's gonna be sweaty, you need extra clothes. Hydrate and just enjoy. Just focus on the good things happening around you. I am a huge believer in these experiences, because we artists, humans also, need community. And without community, we burn out. And these experiences, to be able to sit here and have this conversation today with you, and to talk all week with our friends about like, oh, I shot here, I shot there. This is such a unique world that sometimes you can feel lonely out in the normal world, you know? And when you come together, you feel less alone, you feel seen, you feel valued, you feel heard, you feel like your art matters, you get re-inspired, you want to leave here and make more, and you want to see each other again. So that's why these things are so, like, you know, and you make connections all over the world with people you have never imagined. So it's so important to attend events like this with the right leadership that is providing you this positive community that will take care of you. Hey, it's Lumen again. If you want to check out my work, my newsletter, my tour schedule, my links will be down below.